There's a smart tool for audio, and there's also a smart tool for MIDI, and I'm going to show you how to use that in this lesson. Now, we know we can open up a MIDI editor by pressing Control equals, select the track and press Control equals, and it will open with that track selected. There's another way to open the MIDI editor, and that's simply by double-clicking a region with the grabber tool. Here's my MIDI editor. And the reason it does that is because under Preferences on the MIDI page, there's a setting which says double-clicking a MIDI region opens the MIDI editor. We can also double-click a region to open the score editor, which we haven't covered yet, the MIDI event list, which we also haven't covered, or a name dialog. If I select that and I double-click, it simply lets me rename the region. If, on the other hand, I have it set to MIDI editor, how do I rename the region? Well, I hold down the right mouse button and I choose rename. Okay, so now let's open this up and let's take a look at the Smart Tool. Just like with audio, I can select it by clicking up here or by pressing any two of my F5, 6, and 7 keys. And the way it works is as follows. If I'm not on a note, then I'm basically in marquee mode. I can select a range of notes. If I am on a note, it's a pointer, a grabber, and I can move that note. And again, the same rules about being on a grid or a relative grid or not on a grid apply. If I command click, I can change velocity by dragging up and down. Notice because I'm in velocity color mode, this is selected, that when I drag my velocity, it gets darker or lighter. If I double click a note, I delete the note. If I press Control, I get a pencil and I can enter notes. And by the way, if the pencil were a line and I had my Smart Tool selected, when I hold Control down, it's like I'm using a line tool. If I hold the Option key down, I get the selector. And remember, I can select a range of notes. At the top of the screen, it's the regular selector where I select all the notes and the automation. Let me show some automation here. Okay, so if I select by holding down the Option key, I select the notes and the automation. If I'm at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice I go from the I bar to the I bar with the note. Now when I select, I'm only selecting notes. I am not selecting the automation. If I go to the end of a note, I get my trimmer, backwards and forwards. And just like before, if I hold the Option key down, it turns a left into a right trimmer and a right into a left trimmer. If I want to trim somewhere in the center, I really do need to get my trim tool. Okay, back to the Smart Tool. If I hold down the Control key, I get something called Snap to Playhead. Let me put the Playhead over here by clicking my cursor there. And I will go over to this note, hold down my Control key, and I'll click it. You see that strange icon there? It's going to snap the beginning to my Playhead. Click it, and I'm snapping right to the Playhead. Let me put the Playhead over here, and I'm going to hold down not only Control, but Command also, and you'll see the direction of the snap is reversed. Command and Control, and the right end is snapped to the Playhead. And finally, if I Control and Shift, I get my knife or my Band-Aid. So the Smart Tool does an awful lot. Once again, marquee to select when I'm not picking on a note, or to move the playback cursor. If I click on a note, I can drag it with the hand tool. I can Option drag it and make copies of it. If I use my selector by hitting Option, at the top of the screen I select Notes and Automation. At the bottom of the screen I select only Notes. I have a trimmer at the edge. You see how it operates on multiple notes. And if I Control and click on a note, I snap the beginning to the Playhead. If I Control and Command, I snap the end to the playhead. And if I hold down the Command key, I can change velocity. And Control-Shift, knife, and Band-Aid. So that's the Smart Tool for MIDI. A lot of possibilities with one tool. Play around with it a little bit, and it will make editing MIDI a lot easier for you.